We have the draft for Game 2 of Granite Gaming versus Diamond Hands up here on the screen. Let's see. Does anything jump out at you as soon as we look at this? I know we talked about Poik playing Maiev on ping.
Yeah, so Poik's playing Maiev on ping, which is a really difficult hero to play on ping, especially because it's physically impossible to do the same damage just because of how the Q ticks on Maiev works, on how the resets work. You can't spam as much. Yeah. So it's physically impossible to do as much damage. The thing that sticks out to me the most is that Granite Gaming's comp wants to kill frontline, but they have no way to kill an Anubarak. Like, no way.
So, for those of you that don't know, chat, Anubarak specifically, he matches up well via damage types into mage and very poorly into ranged auto attack. Anubarak gets spell armor when he has his shield up, so that shield is very tanky into abilities and kind of just gets melted by auto attackers. And this game, we don't have a lot of ranged auto attack pressure from the side of Granite Gaming, and you are just going to see over and over, chat, GG is going to try to kill Diamond Hands, try to kill Caesar Salad for Diamond Hands, and just fail over and over and over. It honestly feels like one of the most intense and defining aspects of how this entire game plays out. So let me pull up my notes here.
You opened the wrong game.
Did I really boot up the wrong game?
Yeah.
This is fucking Oxygen! They played the same maps, dude. They played the same maps for game 1 and 2. Both games were...
And they both played on towers, too?
They were both Garden into Tomb, and then Oxygen played Towers game 3, and these guys played Towers game 4. Okay, we're looking for Tomb game. Tomb and Spider Queen, GG versus Diamond Hands. Here we go.
And you can actually even see this game. Caesar Salad takes Nubian armor on level 1 to... He knows he's the kill target, and this just stops him dying. Most of the noobs would just like instantly look to Beetle Talent without even thinking. And it's a really nice tech into the matchup.
Yeah, Nerubian armor, if you're into just purely ability damage, just makes you effectively immortal, and you're about to see a lot of that right there. Caesar Salad using the unstoppable burrow charge to get out of the Maiev Umbral Bind without getting yanked. And of course, level 1 as a tank, you're always just trying to control vision. Really just as a team, you're trying to control, in the early game, the vision between these lanes right here. And remember, GG not being able to kill Anubarak is going to be a pretty damn consistent theme of this game right here.
Yeah, it's gonna come up a lot. Point getting gone on.
Point gets caught on the rotation, and then with that rotational advantage right there, plus the sheer speed at which Hogger does bruiser camps, Diamond Hands has a significant advantage in terms of rotational timing, and because they know that Granite Gaming is still doing their bruisers right here, and they know they're so much faster, and they have people, Diamond Hands is able to get a really free siege camp right here in bot lane.
Yeah. And they even have False Side on top, right? And False Side is a global, and on Tomb, that global reaches the entire map. It's not like only half the map like on Cursed Hollow. So False Side can be top, and if they decide to commit onto the camp, False Side can just fly down and fight it.
And so, because GG knows they have number advantage, because they saw all these members of DH bottom, they saw them rotating out of bottom, they can go ahead and aggress hard onto this mid camp and onto Falstad. Falstad, of course, gets the instant Z from his teammates, and his teammates were nearby, so he wasn't as isolated as you might think, but GG knew that they had an opportunity to go for a kill right there, and that's just one thing that I think that we just have to keep pointing out, is just every time people are shown somewhere, the team immediately pressures somewhere else. If Diamond Hands shows bottom, GG is pressuring somewhere else on the map. If GG shows top, Diamond Hands is going to pressure on bottom. You know, it's a similar deal. 225. Yeah, and so right here, notice what we see, okay? We're going to see an attempted gank from Granite Gaming onto top, onto this Falstad from Gotfilth. with Poik looking for it here. And then as soon as Poik shows, look, he's visible. They try to get the gank. Gotfilth shows. Now, hey, Diamond Hands knows Granite Gaming has 2 members of their team top. Most notably, their tank is top and their Maiev is top. They don't have much ability to fight us at all. And they go in hard on Wubby at the exact same time, because now they know they have number advantage on Wubby. And then Wubby, of course, doesn't die, but you can still see the thought process behind choosing to pressure
and it's
there.
still really good damage, even if they don't die. That's a tap, maybe, that has to be used, or she has to sit behind a fort and spam Q a few times.
Wubby did indeed use his tap right there. Oh, the Emerald Bine's still yanking Caesar Salad. Let's see. And then now we're going to see in a second, Caesar is going to stand to zone for his teammate to turn in for Gotfilth. Gotfilth holding 14 gems right here. It's going to be in just a moment. But watch how this happens. You know, you look in your SL games and turn-ins, people just kind of sneak them all the time. They just get them. They don't position. But here, Caesar Salad is standing here very intentionally. He knows that GG is all in mid lane. They're not going to be approaching him from above. Caesar Salad is standing here specifically to block the members of GG from getting the interrupt on Gotfilth. Breeze tries to get in there, but he's quite short range and immobile as Garrosh, so he's not able to get the interrupt. At the same time, though, Unaverted commits a cardinal sin of playing DPS against Maiev. So Maiev's whole deal, all right, with Umbral Bind is on her next auto attack. She, it's an auto attack reset, so it's instant. So Maiev auto attacks, and that auto attack cleaves not only the target you're hitting, not only does it attach the chain onto them, but it attaches the chain onto any other heroes that are close to them. So Maiev has longer range on Umbral Bind if you're next to minions. So it's really, really bad to fight Maiev when you're standing next to minions, because what she does is this right here. Watch, Unaverted's gonna step right onto his minions in just a moment, because I rewind pretty far back. Look, he's standing in minion wave, and so now Poik takes a very short Shade of Vengeance, jumps to it, and then even though Lunara by this point, even though Lunara's out of his attack range by this point, Poik just has to hit the minion, the chain lands onto Unaverted, and then he gets yanked into the middle of the team. You cannot stand next to your minions. If you're against a Maiev, she's just going to do that to you. There's a very similar thing with offlane matchups versus Malthael. Oftentimes, the only way a Malthael can get on top of his laning opponents is if he throws his shade onto the minions, and then you're not paying attention, you stand next to your minions, and then he can W forward onto them. It's a very similar deal right here with the Maiev punishing the Lunara. And then, of course, we have right there... Notice how Breeze didn't go where Caesar Salad was, because he knew Caesar Salad had the burrow charge. He went to where he was going to burrow charge to.
It's so funny, because it looks like Caesar Salad should have died there, but they can't kill a Nubarak. Their comp just can't do it.
This comp just doesn't have damage that kills a Nubarak. I honestly wonder if Azerite just auto-attacks instead of Q. I wonder if they can get it, because look right here.
It's probably a higher chance.
Yeah, so we're going to get the kill onto Lunara. Caesar Salad's going to get caught a bit. So look, right here, Azerite autos. Oh, no, he Qs.
Yeah, so his auto was on CD, because he just used it, right?
I don't know. I think he might have been able, but regardless, it's no big deal. Okay, so then here's another thing that I want to talk about here. So at this point, Azerite uses his ability as Chromie with his long-range poke to stall Caesar Salad's Hearth. So let's take a look from Azerite's perspective here. This is what he can see on the screen with Caesar Salad going in. And there's one thing that I think is a little bit of a misplay. Azerite casts his W as soon as it's up, and then his vision at the same time. And I think he does end up interrupting this Hearth, by the way, with his W, but I think Azerite wanted to vision, see where Nubrak was Hearthing, and then hit the Dragon's Breath to get the higher chance of interrupting, but it still ended up working out anyway.
As we watch this game, like, Tomb itself is very much based on who controls the turn-ins. That's the name of the game. And if you have vision of the enemy team, you have vision of the turn-ins, essentially. So the entire early game is going to be stepping up, getting vision, and making sure that you can dump gems.
And then notice how we just saw a Nubrak Hearth, okay? He did that in vision. Azerite was able to Time Walker's Pursuit over the wall. And as soon as GG knows that Diamond Hands doesn't have a Nubrak, they just instantly turn in. Look, the tank's not even zoning because they know it's that free without a Nubarak and without Lunara, who just respawned. So that's a guaranteed turn-in. So even though they didn't kill a Nubarak, they still took him off the map long enough to guarantee an advantage.
Yeah, in the early game, forcing it back is sometimes just as good as a kill.
Because you don't get the XP advantage, but you're taking them off the map for the same amount of time, roughly.
Yeah. And we start to get to the point at this stage in the game where getting a kill, the timer goes up and up, so it gets more and more important.
Oh, and so then, chat, we talked a little bit before about not having a cleanse in certain situations and how that can bite you in the butt a little bit. That's a similar story here where we have Hebi, who doesn't have a true cleanse. He has this AoE CC removal with his Soothing Mist, and then Lunara, of course, can pick Abolished Magic if they so desire. But neither of those are unstoppable. And that matters a lot because this Chromie is Temporal Loop. And Abolished Magic will not do anything for you into Temporal Loop, neither will Soothing Mist. You need Unstoppable or Stasis to block it. And so Azurite's going to get to pick up some free kills here. Chromie is always such a threat. See, look, here it goes. It starts out with Godfilth. And then I want to talk about this attempted counterplay from Godfilth right there, but such huge burst pressure from Granite. Watch this, guys. So there's a very specific reason Godfilth does what he does right here, okay? So Azurite hits Godfilth with Temporal Loop. Temporal Loop takes 3 seconds to go off, okay? After 3 seconds, the person will get looped. Falstad starts flying because you are unstoppable while you're flying in the air as Falstad. So, if you can manage to get that flight cast off before the loop goes off, then you can dodge the loop with yourself unstoppable from flight. The problem with this is that flight has a 2-second cast time. Okay, so you get 3 seconds for loop, and it's a 2-second cast time for flight. So this means you only have 1 second after being looped to press the Z button. And Godfilth, I think he feels threatened. He either thinks that he can cast Z faster than he can, or I think he very likely feels threatened by the members of GG right here, and so instead of pressing Z right away, he walks backward a bit and then presses Z, but by that point more than a second has passed, so he can't use the Unstoppable to dodge the Temporal Loop. You can see he presses it well over a second and a half has gone when the clock is over halfway through, and then he's not able to finish the Z cast and dies. I personally think that as Falstad, if you get looped here, you just are going to die every single time. So you just need to press Z as soon as you get looped and hope that you don't get stunned out of it by the enemy team. Because
essentially,
if you try to run away and dodge, then you're just going to get looped and die because you need to press Z within a second, or else you just die there every time.
Trying to get the fly off is the only possible thing that you can do that would save you. So you just try it. Even if like 90% of the time it doesn't work, if it saves you 10% of the time, it's still worth to try. You lose nothing for doing it.
Yeah, it's better than 100% death chance. Alrighty, let's see right here. 7:30 replay. Could Garrosh have Indomitable earlier to get this kill on disc? Okay. So we're going to fast forward a bit right here.
I remember this.
Yeah, there's going to be a kill opportunity off of Maiev disc, and I think Breeze barely misses out on getting it due to a late Indomitable cast. We're going to go ahead and watch. Speed up a bit trying to find it. It's at 7:30, so a little bit more time. Okay. So now Poik is looking for the kill onto Godfilth in top lane. He Shade of Vengeance is forward, Godfilth backs up, he's not standing on top of his minions. And now here's Breeze, looking to follow up on a containment disc that Poik's about to cast. There it is. And so watch this. Breeze is going to try to get there and just barely not make it. And he pops Indomitable, but he doesn't reach Godfilth in time. I think if he Indomitable is, because Lunara slows him really early, like right after dismounting. That's what I was about to say. So take a look at this. Breeze rotates over. Here's a disc right now. There it is. Breeze comes in. I'm going to look at Unaverted's abilities right here, so we can see it in the bottom left of our screen when Unaverted casts W exactly. Look, he W's instantly.
It's instant.
It's literally instant. And so Breeze, instead of indomitabling right away, he waits a second, walks while being mega slowed, and then pops Indomitable after the slow is done. Isn't able to reach Gotfilth. He's like pixels outside of throw range, and Gotfilth is able to survive.
Yeah.
And look at where Smexy is. Smexy can maybe follow up on that with an E.
He could walk and get into range to help the fight. Definitely.
And the thing is, if he lands that throw, Poik would have also E'd through Falstad, so you would have had a lot of damage. I think that that's 100% Breeze Indomitabling too late to look for that kill attempt.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, definitely.
Really good rotation, though, by DH to be here, and they just punish Breeze, who's caught out a bit. He's got a Stukov. He's not getting out of this one. And then notice how Caesar Salad uses Cocoon right here, guys. So Caesar Salad uses Cocoon when they just straight up are winning the fight, and at this point the enemy team is just running away. So you can use Cocoon to just save a kill for your teammates to catch up and be able to pressure them, and that's exactly what he does on Maiev right here.
This is a really good gust.
And then Gotfilth just moves behind the gust, or moves behind the Cocoon to just gust Maiev directly into their team. Maiev trying to get out, but gets hit by just everything. So well played off the Cocoon right there. Excellent Cocoon from Caesar Salad. Caesar Salad is so fucking good at tank, dude. It's actually crazy.
He's really good at tank.
Yeah.
He's been improving a lot.
Unaverted with the body block onto Smexy right there. You love to see it.
Yeah, Smexy can't do that when his team's dead already. Just too far.
And so then right here, off of the double kill onto, not Oxygen, onto Granite Gaming from Diamond Hands, they start boss, and then they actually get off, okay? And part of this is because they just want to start pushing right away with these web weavers. Ideally, if you're bossing and web weaving, you actually cap the web weavers as the boss is dying a lot of times. And because if you cap web weavers and then you do boss right after, they wouldn't be able to prep these lanes nearly as much going into it. And you'll actually see later they'll sync up boss and web weavers with better timing as the game goes on. But that's why they had a boss play that they probably could have gotten away with and just walked out and started pressuring. Or maybe they just thought they couldn't do it. Who knows?
Yeah, it looks like there was a debate on the call about whether or not to do it.
Yeah, and they just play it safe. Ooh, and then there's a really interesting play from Caesar Salad that's going to show part of why he's a really good tank player as well coming into this next fight. We got to move up a bit here. There's going to be a fight right on this area of the screen, chat, and let's look at what's happening here, okay? Both teams have enough points to turn in. Both teams level 13. Caesar Salad is zoning Breeze, but he's not using Burrow Charge, because if he gets thrown in, he needs to Burrow Charge out, right?
Yeah.
And so then he's also buying time for Godfilth to fly in. Watch what happens over here. The members of Diamond Hands start turning in to force Granite Gaming to step up more than they really want to, and to bait them. Caesar Salad tries to impale onto Breeze to potentially catch him, doesn't land. Webweaver's actually secured for Wubby, but watch what happens right here. Caesar Salad comes in and starts body blocking the Chromie Qs to stop Chromie from hitting Lunara. And he gets in the way, and he still doesn't want to use Burrow Charge. Because if he Burrow Charges in on this Stukov, he's kind of in deep. Although looking at this fight situation, I think he can do it no problem.
I think he could have, but it's hard.
And so he cocoons to interrupt Stukov's lurking arm, and then maintain the Burrow Charge on him at the same time. I think he could have maybe just eaten.
He just stepped up and walled the Chromie's face, basically. It's safer not to E in, and you can do the same thing, right?
Cocooning preserves the E, and the fact that, like you said, he just got in Chromie's face and stopped him from queuing onto the temporal loop was so big. Let me see, what else we got here? 11:15. Yep, GG goes in on a noob and can't kill him. Let's fast forward, friends. 11:15.
After this, they only try and kill a noob, if I remember properly, and it never goes well.
They try to catch a noob, he's able to slither his way on out. They're going to try to catch a noob again, and he's going to shock you with what he does. Oh look, they're on a noob. They temporal loop him. They have no damage structure that can kill a noob. They chuck him back in. They taunt him.
I do want to note that that was a very nice W from Wubby. Because as the temporal loop was going off, Yrel stunned the Anubarak right before, so he couldn't get easily off to unstoppable the loop itself.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter because you can't kill the Nubrak this game anyway, even if you throw everything at him.
And just no ranged auto attackers into a Nubrak. You're just going to see Caesar Salad kind of just doing whatever he wants, because he doesn't int his positioning, he doesn't int his cooldowns, and he took the right talent at level 1, so he's really just able to bully. And there are several frontliners that can bully this type of situation where the enemy team has no auto attack, just abilities. Diablo with Soul Shield is the same way, Dahaka with W at level 1. Those are just some other classic examples of being able to talent really hard into spell armor.
The sad thing here about a noob having all the gems is it's so hard for him to pay. Because if Lunara has the gems, a noob can just step up and wolf for that Lunara. But because they're all on a noob, no one can wolf for the tank. He just has to, like, try and not be able to get the pay until they get vision advantage or get an advantage somewhere else on the map, forcing Granite Gaming to respond.
And so then here, Diamond Hands is about to take a bit of a gamble, okay, chat? Diamond Hands, they recognize that both teams have turn-ins, both teams want to turn in, and what they decide to do is they say, we're going to have Nintori steal this siege camp, and we bet that we can prevent Granite Gaming from turning in the 4-on-5. And Nintori's not on map, so Granite Gaming doesn't know that they have a 5v4 right here, because it's happened entirely out of vision. And now all DH needs to do is just maintain the stalemate and just prevent a turn-in, which they may not even know is necessarily an advantage. We see an attempt to go on Godfilth, but he's fine. The rest of the team's not there.
Really good Gust to follow up.
No, Godfilth's Gusts have been really, really big. And then at this point, Nintori has successfully taken bottom siege. GG still trying to zone as much as they can for the turn-in, but they weren't able to punish the taking of the bottom siege. And now Nintori rotates in, and now Diamond Hands has the clear advantage off of that. Because they know that they're getting this passive pressure. So if the stalemate hypothetically continues, GG just loses bot fort. They've pretty much already guaranteed lost their bot fort at this point.
Yeah, so what they're trying to do now is to force a fight. Right? You see Wubby's trying to walk down, but he knows he has to stay here if the team's looking for a fight.
Oh, this is so huge right here, this moment. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all see the action a little bit, just letting it go back and forth a bit. But we gotta talk about this. There's so much good stuff to learn here, folks, okay? Let's see. So let's take a look at this. Alright, right here, Smexy sees that Anubrak gets time trapped, and so then he follows up on it with Lurking Arm. And then now, in order to not get thrown in, Caesar Salad just burrow charges away from Breeze. There's a particular play here that's coming up right now.
Yeah, what Breeze does here is really good. And we don't see it as much nowadays.
So, as Garrosh, we've all seen the throw Q combo, right? You throw someone behind you, and then you Q onto the ground that you throw them on. The problem is that combo is not a perfect CC chain. It leaves time for the other player to dash out, okay? And so what Breeze does here is this is a very important Garrosh tech. This allows you to get kills onto the slipperier characters, anybody with a good dash, a stasis, that kind of thing, ice block. Breeze walks up, he throws Godfilth, and watch what he does. He taunts while Godfilth is in the air over him. Rather than throw Q, it's throw taunt. So now Falstad never has any moment where he's not CC'd, so he can't dash out. This should be a near guaranteed kill on Falstad, but Brightwing is a bullshit hero, and Heavy blink heals in. And the timing is perfect so that he doesn't get stunned by the hammer. He blinks in exactly after the hammer. I think it might be a coincidence. And he cleanses the stun on Godfilth, which because he's Soothing Mist at 7, critical mist.
Critical mist is insane.
Because he's critical mist, that's a massive heal onto Falstad right there. So that denies the stun chain and gets a huge heal. So Breeze's really good play is overshadowed by Heavy going in and hitting an insane cleanse. And so now Granite Gaming put their eggs in the basket of getting that burst pick, but it got denied by Heavy despite a great play by Breeze, and they're just trying to get out of there. And it's just a DH fight victory at that point. Fuck Brightwing, dude. Heroes too good.
It's so sad because we never see Garroshes do that play anymore. And the one time we see it in CCL, like, it's like, it doesn't matter because Brightwing is a hero.
And so here we see now DH turning in after they're already on boss. And so this is going to lead to a much more synchronized timing between the two, rather than turn in, okay, let's get on boss now. That would have been a lot more awkward. And this is ideal when you have your boss and web weavers pressuring at the exact same time. This is something that HotS players just don't do in general, is they don't line things up to pressure simultaneously. Like, if you give the enemy team a camp, and then a camp, and then a camp, and they just clear, that's so much less threatening than giving them 3 camps at the same time, which you can do when you have the ability to control your timing. And it's exactly what we see from DH right here, where they have boss and web weaver about to push simultaneously. And so they're using this, they're just pushing up right here. They've got Falstad pressuring mid, because Falstad can always global in whenever they need him to, so he's able to split a little bit. My next note is 1545. Ooh, okay guys, this little hallway right here is so huge, okay? This hallway, not only is it a flank angle, but it's also a way to get really close to the enemy team out of vision, and it's huge if you can jump walls, if you can jump walls. Just if you're a Nubarek, if you're Urel, if you're Maiev, Muradin, all those characters have a lot of kill threat from this wall, and we're going to start to see this play out. Notice how Lunara's got Wisp in it, because they recognize this is a really important flank angle, and we're going to see this area start to be emphasized in just a moment. So again, Diamond Hand's looking for turn-in. Diamond Hand starts to pressure up.
This pay is much more important than the first ones, because Diamond Hand's waves are already shoved up. So web weavers are going to spawn much further and get a lot more value with this pay than the previous one.
And so watch what happens right here, okay? The first things first, Smexy checks this bush with Lurking Arm, because they know this is such an insane flank angle. They see that the members of Diamond Hands are not in it, so to help them continue to secure it, Azerite puts the time trap in it. And then watch right here, in addition to the time trap, Breeze is also going to zone in this for Wubby, because again, Wubby is playing a hero that can jump over this wall for the flank angle. So Wubby's going to sit here with his wings out. Watch, he's about to get them out any second so that he can jump. And Wubby now has his wings out, and now Breeze is zoning over here to get rid of the Wisp and prevent a Nubarak from using this bush as well. So now they're maintaining control over the wall jump, and they decide against it. Wubby goes on and gets on out of there, but that was after they denied Caesar Salad the ability to use it.
It's a really insane play. Like, the blinding into the bush.
Yeah, because they have to respect it.
So important.
This bush is so important. So you see, they just chuck abilities at it, both teams, because they're so terrified of the other team sitting in there. And then at this point, Diamond Hands has level 20 advantage, and they're just trying to siege with it. Let me check my notes. What else we got in here?
The Global's pushing bot lane once again.
At this point, Diamond Hands is just trying to use their 20 advantage with the siege, and Granite Gaming's job is to try not to die and try not to lose their keeps, as they just want to get back to level 20. All they're trying to do at this point, don't get baited.
Lose as little as possible. That's all they're trying to do. They're not trying to make any plays, they're not trying to do anything. Just not lose the game, get 20, and then get maybe an advantaged fight.
So now they're sitting on out of here. They want to be as safe as possible and just scale up into 20. Diamond Hands would love to get a pick. You can see Caesar Salad actually looking for control of this gate right here, looking for the presence.
Is really important because it lets now Caesar Salad sit in that same choke, because the gate gives vision. So now he can sit there and E over the wall when they eventually get another boss or another turn in.
And Diamond Hands notably just has had such an advantage with the siege camps throughout the entire game. They keep using, every time they know where GG is, they just go ahead and force the bot siege camp over and over and over again. It's been like 3 or 4 times at this point. And now at this point, in the late game, all members up, Bruiser versus Bruisers. Both team just wants to keep their Bruisers alive, but Maiev is mega far away, so they know that they can't contest it. Granite Gaming is just like, we don't have Maiev, they have all 5 here. If we walk into this, we just lose, so they're allowed to keep their siege alive, or their camp alive. And then at this point, Diamond Hands just uses the pressure that they earn from GG being forced to clear that Bruiser camp to get a couple turn-ins, which puts them very close.
And this is something we're going to see a lot in these games whenever it's Tomb. Granite Gaming has 109 gems. They're like making sure they pick up the gems and clear the waves, but they're not being allowed to turn in.
Notice how Caesar Salad immediately burrow charges out of that CC setup right there. And again, Granite Gaming's going to try to go on Anubarak. And have you noticed Anubarak's health bar isn't fucking moving?
Did he take Trader King at 20 as well?
Anubarak is indeed Trader King. Wow.
There is zero way a noob can ever die this game, especially after 20 now.
Yeah. You just have a team with a damage structure that's just not able to do anything into Caesar Salad. And I think GG tries to kill a noob like 6 or 7 different times this game and fails just about every time. I think that this game from Caesar Salad is he's zoning when he needs to be zoning. He modifies his build appropriately. Nerubian armor into the team that has no ranged auto attack. Trader King into the team that has no ranged auto attack. And he can just exist forever and get whatever he wants done every single fight. And that's so huge. Breeze gets caught out right there. The beautifully timed Indomitable actually saves him from the CC, but he's just too caught out at that point.
He's just dead. Yeah.
And then in Tori, I heard a lot of people talking about follow Grubby. He was saying, I don't know why I said the follow, but Grubby was saying no control is good when used on one hero. And the thing is, it is if you're using it as a gap closer. You're not going to do as much damage. But Nintori used no control solely to catch up to Breeze to chase him for the kill right there. And it worked. Like that is a situation where it's really good.
Go follow Grubby.
Yep, follow Grubby. Confirms.
Tells you to go do it.
Yep. And then at this point, this is a similar deal to what we had before. We're just seeing, in the earlier series with Oxygen, we saw Oxygen park Johanna here and Yrel here on the bottom turn in and stall while they were doing boss. It's the exact same story now flipped for Diamond Hands. Diamond Hands is doing boss and sending their teammates to simply just go stall the turn in. And Caesar Salad knows he can get away with it because they don't have any ability to damage him at all. So they're just able to free walk straight onto GG and take them out. Even despite having, like, the 3-on-4. Anubarak's immortal, this game. Everything else that we've talked about feels like it's in the shadow of that simple fact.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like...
Oh!
Granite Gaming can try and kill other people. It wouldn't work, because a noob will just block Chromie stuff, but they can try.
So, chat, I'm pretty sure Hebi actually misses this kill onto Wubby. I don't think it makes a huge difference, but check this out, okay? So we talked about in a previous game that when you're running away as heroes that can hop walls, usually using that ability to hop a wall is critical for escaping. So watch Wubby right here as he attempts to get away from multiple members of DH on his ass. Like, watch, he goes in on unaverted there, stalls the turn in, he pops his Seraphim, and at this point, Wubby's just getting run down, right? Wubby needs to get out of here. The only way he's going to be able to do that is if he hops over a wall with his E. And so, look, Hebi blink heals in, trying to stop Wubby from getting out, and polymorphs him just a moment too late. The polymorph kicks in after he's already jumping the wall. Wubby's able to get over the wall, instant mount, and run away. And Godfilth doesn't Z far enough forward to kill him either, especially with the instant mount, and Wubby gets away. But I'm pretty sure Hebi drops this kill. Watch this out, guys. Focus on Hebi specifically here. Okay. So, right here, Hebi's helping kill Azurite. And then as soon as Azurite is dead, your next priority is to kill Wubby. But Wubby's way up there, so Hebi needs to get up to him, right? So Hebi starts to go up, and he has 2 blink heals. He has 1 blink heal and another one's coming soon. So he uses the first blink heal on Gotfilth to get further up, as he's supposed to. Nintori's out of range, and Wubby needs to go left anyway. But watch what happens here. So Hebi starts going up towards Wubby, and what he needs to do is go this way.
Missed the kill.
What he needs to do is go here so that he can blink heal onto the minion wave and polymorph Wubby, but Hebi goes left.
Not even just that. He had Pixie Armor up. He can move speed himself to get in range quicker, even when going left.
And so he could have self-cast Pixie Dust for the move speed as well. So if Hebi either self-casts Pixie Dust or goes right, then that polymorph that goes onto Wubby is able to interrupt his jump. Because remember, if you polymorph a Urel who's channeling an ability before she gets it off, it goes on full cooldown, but if you polymorph Wubby after he jumps, then he gets the jump. And you see, Heavy is just the slightest bit late. He's gonna blink heal, and look, this poly is fractions of a second late. This poly is fractions of a second late, and it cost them the Wubby kill. I don't think it ends up mattering, but I was like, I was watching
it will
that.
matter for the game, but it's a nice thing to point out.
How are you viewing this game? There's so much more UI than the basic one. I'm using something called Ollie Obs. What you're gonna want to do is Google Ollie Twitter, probably. And that is Ollie's Twitter account where he posts links to OllieOb. He has a website to this unique observer UI, but it's out of date. And his Twitter is now where you get the most updated version. So definitely just Google like OllieObs, Ollie Twitter, that kind of thing. That might get you where you need to go. I'm pretty sure OllieObs Twitter will get you there, and you'll be able to download that. It has instructions on how to run it, and it's a much better UI for spectating and all that. And then you get fancy little keybinds like all this stuff. I prefer Spazzo's replay UI. I've never used it. OllieObs, the thing is, I'm commentating for Masters Clash, and their UI is for OllieObs. I don't know if it would work with Spazzo's or not.
So Spazzo's gives a lot more information, but OllieObs is much better for casting. It's much more minimalist. And Spazzo's, like, with Spazzo's you can see every cooldown of every hero at the top of the screen without having to click and things like that.
Okay.
It's really useful. For analysts specifically.
Yeah, so Heavy dropping that kill didn't matter at all, but I just like watching those things to see, like, oh, could they have done a little bit better or whatever, you know? Because everything is a learning opportunity.
You either win something or you lose, and if you lose, you learn something, so...
See, I never liked that from
Cav.
Cav. Yeah, he says you either win or you learn something, but I'm like, you can learn something while you win. That's also true.
Well, yeah, that's sure. But in fact, that's a double win at that point.
Yeah, do you only learn when you lose?
You only lose when you don't learn, I think is the sentiment of the statement.